Here we go. Hey guys, it's Jelly, the host of the Jammed Up with Jelly podcast, the only podcast where you, the good people of the internet, are the guests. We talk to you about your life experiences, things that are unique to you, stories only you can tell. It's real talk from real people. Besides that, we find out if you're an idiot with some questions of knowledge. We shred the instruments, we do some comedy, and roast you along the way. But today we're here with a very special episode of this podcast because it is our debut podcast. And I'm here with our amazing guest, Tripp. He is the host of a very successful podcast, Health or High Water. He's been the host of a podcast called Art Mart, and he is the producer of this podcast. So please welcome the healthcare hyena, Tripp.
Yeah, I
How you
love
doing,
that.
man?
Love that, man. Dude, it's honestly it's good seeing you, man. It's been a great relationship the past few months. Watching you build this amazing podcast up, and honestly, I got to give the fans a little shout out because you guys, Jelly does grassroots himself. He stays just hammering just hammering it out himself, like meeting people himself, like interviewing people himself. Like this, Jelly's a real deal. So that's why I wanted to join with what he's doing.
All right, man. So let's get to know you a little bit. Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Virginia, Leesburg, Virginia, right outside DC. I went to college at Radford University, got a communications degree, um, and then I been in fitness my entire life. I played a small professional stint in pro football for the RPFL down in Atlanta, Georgia. But I've been in fitness my entire career, and I own my fitness company right now.
All right, all right. So you do work in the healthcare industry, whether it's fitness and whatnot. What exactly do you do in the healthcare industry?
So I do quite a bit of different things. But my main job, and like my purpose and my goal is I have to have a little backstory. In 2022, my mom had a stroke turned dementia, and I had to go home and take care of her. She was incontinent, couldn't eat right. They put her on a whole bunch of different pills, and it was my job to program her health program, make sure she was exercising, eating right, and getting her off those pills. But while I was doing that, I was also around her going to doctor's appointments and rehab and other people that were going through very preventable illnesses and diseases like cancer, metabolic disease. And I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. You go to five different personal trainers or five different nutritionists, and you're getting five different answers how to get fit. Like something's got to change here. Like
Yeah,
there's
and some of them always they don't work for everybody.
that's the problem, right? Is because we're not doing an individualized approach. We're doing a fishnet approach, and we're also doing like trends of like, hey, listen, this is a new fat burner doing this. Like there has to be some kind of science and there has to be some kind of quantitative approach to doing this. So while I was taking care of my mom, I was writing a book called, well, I didn't know at the time, called Health Profiling, just like listing everything I knew about health and trying to figure out how I could like come up with a solution for this. And I came up with a process called health profiling where I use DNA, blood work, movement screenings, and family medical history with the accompaniment of AI to come up with 360-degree wellness programs for people that cover workouts, diet, supplementation, injury risk and prevention, cancer risk, metabolic risk, everything that would you need to guide yourself to make sure that you're avoiding the bad stuff down the road and taking care of yourself the best possible way. But I also teach senior boxing classes and wellness classes in the Denver area, which has been like a blast, to be honest.
You ever knock one of the geezers out?
No, but they dude. Oh my gosh. So like I was teaching a class with my business partner Brett, and we were doing combinations like hey, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, like going through that. And Brett got it. Either Brett or the one of the retirees got the combination wrong and punched him like right in the face. And then like a week later, I heard like he was at the same spot and the same guy punched him again.
Dude's got it out for him.
Well, at first I was just kind of like, "Hey, man, you're in your stripes. Like you can be a boxing instructor now. Like you took a punch." But like now it's just kind of like abuse.
I know. What's the reverse of senior abuse?
I know, right? Yeah, but so I teach senior boxing wellness classes as well as I do lecture series with my business partner at some of these places and live music. I also have a podcast that you said, Health or High Water, that's been doing pretty well, and I also have a book called Health Profiling that's out. But try to do a little bit of everything, man. And I'm also a football coach.
That's interesting. So what would be, due to your background in healthcare, what would be the best like advice you could give somebody with your specific knowledge?
The best thing is to stop listening to social media. Like it's just garbage, right? Like everyone's following some kind of trend, and to be honest, most of us know what we should be eating and what we should be doing, like health wise. Like it's pretty obvious. Like hey, you don't have to go like run marathons to be healthy. But like go for a walk. Like instead of choosing deep fried foods, like go get a salad or something. Like this is intuitive eating. What I want to warn people against is like the diet culture fails, right? Like 80% of stats, 80% of diets fail. So don't do a diet. Just start trying to do better for yourself overall. It's not a big process that people need to think about. It's just more about like treating ourselves better, if that makes sense.
All right, so how healthy is a nice Italian hoagie?
Nice Italian hoagie.
Yeah, would that
Um,
be a healthy meal?
it depends on your DNA. Like, are carbs good for you? Are they not good for you? I don't know. Unless you get tested. But to be honest,
I
like,
feel pretty good if I ate at least two hoagies a day.
well, but to be honest, it has most of what you need. It's got proteins, fats, probably not the best carbs. If it could be maybe a quinoa roll instead of a wheat roll, you probably aren't be doing good. But hey, listen, it's got two-thirds there. That's
Quinoa. Can you spell quinoa?
Quiona.
Inconclusive. I don't have it written down.
Inconclusive.
Moving on.
Fact checks out for the day.
Yeah, seeing as you're on that end of the interview, I can't have you fact check that.
Whoops.
So what would you say is like your most rewarding moment of your work?
My current work.
Yeah, like has there ever been like one thing that you've just felt more has like been the most rewarding moment kind of thing?
I mean, like I think I have that moment pretty much every week. I work with seniors. Um,
Just seeing the progress.
Not the progress. It's like contentment and happiness. You know what I mean? A lot of these seniors, there's not a lot to look forward to, and a lot of them have memory care issues like dementia and Alzheimer's, and they don't get happy, right? Like they're constantly mad. Like we had some guy on Friday yelling, "It's like they took everything from me." That's like,
Calm down, George.
it's like, "Well, okay, I'm so sorry, man. Like, what am I gonna what am I gonna do?" But like to see some of those people that do act like that, and then they enjoy boxing, they enjoy like the movement, and they start smiling,
That's when they punch the trainer in the face a few times.
and you just gotta take it. You just gotta take it like a man because it's like they're happy. So like just
Yeah, they're
take
happy because they're abusing the trainers.
man, as long as they're happy, I don't really care. Like they can beat the shit out of me, like whatever. Like that demographic of people are so under cared about that like to see even one smile on someone's face or someone coming up to me after class and say, "Hey, that's a great class." That means the world to me. Like 110%.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good moral feeling type of job where you actually can see progress from people and feel like you're actually doing something and making a difference rather than doing something where you're not actually seeing any progress.
It's a hard
Even
road. It's a hard road and a hard life, but like, and mo, what 90% of my life, like it's not. I don't say it sucks because I love what I do, but it's hard. Like it's hard work. Like I'm traveling from this place to this place. I spend like 4 hours in a car making sure that I'm getting to my destinations and making sure that I've got programs for my people, making sure that I've got classes written out and do this kind of things. But I get to go to bed happy and like content, and I
feeling
think that's
accomplished.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. I mean, I feel like that's what most people want to do, even if it's a hard life. Most people want to be able to have some sort of contentment with the fact that they're accomplishing something that's at least moralistically sound.
Well, I think that's very similar to what you do, right? Is like what I love about comedy itself is an equal exchange, right? I get to make we get to make you laugh, we get attention, and we get views, and we get to get paid. That's the kind of thing, I find that kind of similar too. Is like, hey, I'm giving you my all during class. You know, I'm making a living off of this. Like, that's great. And I wish I could do it for free. Don't get me wrong, but like it's kind of an equal exchange. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just I don't know, man. It's just one of I think the best things I've ever done with my life is getting into senior care.
Well, like I said, it definitely seems like a rewarding job. So, like, whether it's attached to your work or not, do you have a motto or anything, sort of like phrase that you live by? Something that you've always kept, close to you in your thoughts? Like, good
Um,
old Joe Dirt, keep on keeping on.
well, keep
Life's a
on.
garden, dig it.
Um, One weird thing that I keep on like writing in my journal like over and over again is I am okay and I'm okay and everything is fine.
You would just write that over and over in a notebook.
And especially when I'm anxious, like it was like I'm okay and everything is fine. It's like everything's probably okay. Like it's not, even if it's a bad thing, like it's probably not that big a deal. Like I'm okay and everything is fine. It's just kind of like centers myself a little bit. It's like yeah, you know what? Like in the greatest scheme of things, like it's fine. I might not have a lot of money in my bank account, but I've got food in my belly. I've got a roof over my head. I'm okay and everything's fine.
That seems like something a serial killer would have.
Well, after the murder, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay. It's
it's that
okay.
followed by a manifesto, followed by more of it's okay, followed by the suicide note.
Well, I'm not a bitch. I wouldn't kill myself.
Well, yeah, you're at least bold enough to go out death by cop. I mean, come on.
Butch and Cassidy, come on,
Butcher
guns
and
blazing.
Cassidy. All right. Well, like you were saying, obviously one of your skills or talents would be healthcare and whatnot, the knowledge of and such. What other kind of abilities do you have?
I have the ability to be hit by not one, but two cars on my bike in less than a year. I I also play guitar, drums, and piano. Actually went to a music conservatory for college. I'm a published author, um, and I'm also a huge Star Wars and Marvel nerd. There's like some like crusty 40-year-old guys living in their parents' basement right now that know less about Star Wars and Marvel than me, and I would school them in like any kind of lore, whatever.
All right, that's an odd brag, but okay.
I'm gonna brag about it.
Damn right. I wouldn't expect any less. So going back to the bike thing real quick, that just sounds like you're just not biking well. It just sounds like you're a bad biker. Sounds like you suck.
All right, well, okay, well, let me explain real quick. It's actually there's a overall it's a funny story. So the first one was my fault. I ran into the back of a RTD bus.
So I'm correct there. You ran into the back of a bus.
I'm claiming responsibility because I'm trying to be a man about it. Like I should have done better. But the bus was like the brake checking me kind of. And I was back there like I can't like pass on like a 3-lane 40-mile-an-hour road. Like I gotta walk on the bus. The bus brake checked me and I ran right into it. Knocked out my tooth. Like it was gnarly.
Well, I mean,
Um,
with a knocked out tooth, you definitely would fit in Virginia still.
you son of a gun. But the second one, this is the funny one though. This is worth being on the podcast here. But I was coming home. This was not my fault. This one was not my fault. I was coming home, and like I was right in front of my apartment. I was like literally 25 feet right. I was like coming into my apartment, and this lady with a Mercedes didn't use her turn signal and drove up the street I was trying to cross. I hit her car. I broke her side mirror with my penis. Thus, me hitting her. It was a sedan, so I was like, I hit her. Like, sorry, I'm using my legs here. I hit her with the side mirrors right here. That's my penis. Boom. I flipped over the car, and I have it on video. I landed on my feet.
So you essentially pole vaulted yourself on her reflective mirror.
Her side mirror did give me the trajectory I needed to complete my front flip.
I wonder if she looked and read the thing that said things that are in this mirror may be closer than they appear. And all she saw was just an erect penis flying as fast as it can.
I was hard the entire time. Let's be real.
Why else would you fly and do a full flip? That's some Olympic level shit right there. You could have gotten a bronze medal in Virginia.
100%. But like I'm about to tell you that the best part about it, though. Like, well, I guess it depends how you're looking. Like for me, it was not the best part. But all my friends were like taking their dogs out at the time that happened. So like I'm surrounded by like people and their dogs, and like I'm holding my privates because like it hurts like crazy. I just broke a side mirror with my penis, and like I'm sitting there like holding my dick. I was like, fuck my dick, my dick.
Could have had a phallic fracture, dude.
I was scared about that. Like, so they called the ambulance. Like the ambulance came.
Got a cock splint.
Well, so like they got me into the ambulance, and I was like, please check my dick, please, please. And it was two like male ambulance drivers, so I was like, I was already kind of feeling weird about it. They're like, we gotta check your head. I was like, I'm not worried about the head. I'm worried about this head. They're like
The front head.
Like, all right, we'll check your dick. They pulled down, they like checked my penis, like pulled my penis, like, dude, you're fine. I was like, all right, let's go to the hospital. Like, completely calm after that. You gotta be able to make a family, man.
God damn. So did you completely? You obviously broke the mirror. You said, right?
I shattered it. It was like all over the place.
Lucky you didn't get a slice down the sausage.
Well, that glass could have shattered, like ripped through my pants and cut it off. Like I'm surprised I still have it. Like I literally, it smashed into the car. Like it was all over the place. Now listen, even everyone listening to this, I might not have the biggest dick in the industry. Let's be real, but I sure as hell have the toughest.
What industry are we talking about?
All
All of them. Oh Jesus! All right. So, how was your time in football? You said you did some football there.
Yeah.
What position you play?
So I played. I got drafted as a running back, but ended up playing free safety, slot receiver, and then I was gunner on special teams. It was a very short stint. I got drafted by a very not great league, that's fine. Like it's what have you. But only played for about a month down in Atlanta, right out like Decatur. Was one of the best, honestly, the best experiences of my entire life. I wish I could have done it more, but being in a small league, you got to pay for a lot of stuff yourself, and I just couldn't afford it. I wasn't making a lot.
Yeah, that gear can be expensive. Remember, even the shit in school was expensive.
You play a little bit, right?
No.
Just a little bit.
I play some NFL Blitz.
You played like the newer one, right? Like not the old one.
No, the old one.
You like the new
N64 NFL Blitz.
Well, this is still a great game. Don't get me wrong, but the new one you could like juice up your players and stuff. It was crazy.
Fuck that. Nope. Give me the OG. That and 2000 for the Dreamcast.
Fair enough.
Shout out Dreamcast.
Shout out.
Dreamcast. I want that sponsorship.
Just even a little sponsorship would be good. Just a little bit.
I know you're still around. You act like you're not. You're still around, Dreamcast.
You're still here.
Answer my messages.
Slide into my DMs.
So, what would you say is your favorite hobby out of all of the things you do?
I feel like I haven't had much time for hobbies, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you play
Uh,
music and stuff, and you do your podcast, which is a career slash hobby in a way,
um,
because you definitely enjoy what you do, talking about healthcare because you're in that industry.
I think my favorite hobby is when I get to give back a little bit in some aspect, whether like you said, like be the podcast, blogs. I do enjoy writing blogs. I'm working on my second book right now. That's been honestly harder than my first. I really enjoy doing that. But I really enjoy live music. That's probably my favorite hobby right now. Once I get medical insurance, it'll be snowboarding again, though.
All right, so definitely doing the athletics still, keeping fit.
Well,
Fucking
it's kind of funny that like you say that like I was like so I was going through a very hard time and Jelly over here helped me out, but like a bunch of my clients tried to help me out through my depression. Like you should like go on a walk or do this. I'm like I work out 10 hours a day teaching classes or myself. Like I was like the last thing I'm gonna go is go home and work out more.
yeah, and I mean working out should make you feel good, I guess. That's what people say, but I've never felt great after working out.
You haven't had the right workout, buddy.
Yeah, no, I find it feels better to sit down and just do nothing than work out. It's much more relaxing.
Oh man,
It's probably just as healthy. Sit down, crush a couple Sandos.
Santos.
Know some appies, dude.
Get a few pierogies in there, you know.
I've been hitting them fucking bacon wrapped jalapenos lately. Those cream cheese on the inside.
Oh,
Woo-wee.
that's so good though. That is so good
And some
though.
good things.
Oh,
Shout out. Oh, we're not going to shout them out because they're not going to sponsor us. Big old corporate bullshit.
Yes.
You got to pay for your shout outs when you're that big. We'll shout out the fans, though. We'll shout you guys out for free.
You get on this
But,
podcast, guys. This is for the people, by the people.
let's see. What would you say was your most, like, your either favorite or most vivid memory? You know, something that you always look back upon and be like, that was the shit. Like, you hear, like, Glory Days playing.
All right. There's one memory that definitely pops out. Like that's probably where I felt like a golden god. Um, so before my college graduation, like 6 months before, I wanted to do it big. Like I was like, hey, listen, like we're leaving. So I had a meeting with like everyone that was like a fraternity brother, a sweetheart, whoever was graduating at that time. I was like,
You
we're
want to
meeting.
shout out your frat?
Sigma Pi Theta Lambda chapter here at Radford University. Huge shout out to you guys.
Shout out.
But I was like, I had a meeting with everybody. I was like, hey guys, we're graduating in 6 months. Like, why don't we all pull together and have a party together that makes everybody else on campus just hyper jealous about what we're doing? Like, let's do it bigger than everybody else. We're not the biggest fraternity on campus, and that's okay. Like,
But you want to have a blowout.
yeah, it's like we're leaving. Like, this is like best 4 years of our life. Let's like leave like we earned it, you know? Well, it worked out. We all came together. Like all the parents came together. It turned out to be insane. We had a blow up slide, like an inflatable slide. We rented an inflatable slide. We had 1,000 Jello shots. We had like 5 kegs ready to go. Like it was like the most well prepared graduation party, and like everyone that was leaving graduation, we had 2 different sides of campus. We had light side and dark side. Dark side was kind of like where the musicians and everyone.
That is an old school college you went to, sir.
Yeah, and the light side was like fraternity, Greek life kind of stuff, and like everyone that was going through Greek life had to walk past my
I'm
house.
talking about how that sounds a little bit of a segregated college there.
Yeah. Well, anyone that wants to look up light side and dark side for Radford, it's because one side has lamps and one side doesn't.
I was about to say, are the people from the dark side allowed to use your water fountains?
No, of course not. No, but like everyone had to walk past.
They only get to be 3/5 of a pledge.
Yeah, no, no. Whoa.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, it's so funny.
Getting demonetized instantly.
But everyone had to walk past the house, and there was like a bunch of other like people we knew that were passing us, like, oh, we didn't do this right, and like we're just sitting there on like a fucking bouncy slide, like drinking. It was like I look back on that and it's like that's probably one of the best days of my entire life. Like,
Had a
just,
classic college rager.
I graduated and then had like this epically big college party that had like all these different working parts that everyone had a part. Like, hey, listen, I'm bringing the Jello shots. I got the kegs. Like all the
Yeah, you
parents
had
were
rooms
all
designated
texting,
to certain things.
and
You know,
everyone.
you had the beer room, you had the slide, like would you go up to this to do that, and then you had the rape room, you had the other.
Whoa, hey,
Yeah, I'm just talking about college parties, man.
hey, there was no such thing. You psycho.
Well, from what I've heard, I've seen the movies.
That was rugby and lacrosse. It was not.
Oh man, throwing the lax under the under the bus.
Ooh, starting shit.
Oh man, you're gonna get rushed soon.
About to do
All
something.
right, so you said you're from Virginia. What would you say is like the most Virginian thing about you? Like, do you guys got like when you were a kid, you have like rocking chairs on the porch, you know, spittoons, tire swings. Like, how many uncle cousins or aunt moms you got?
A lot of questions. First and foremost, I think everyone that's listening to the podcast needs to know that Virginia's got pretty much three or kind of four different parts. You've got Northern Virginia, which is pretty much DC and Maryland. You've got Norfolk, which is a military base, beach, Virginia Beach area. You got Richmond, which is kind of Norfolk-y kind of thing, but it's doing something. And then you got Appalachia. It's like it should be kind of like maybe three different states, to be honest.
Because Appalachia is the what everybody thinks of as the standard Virginia down home country.
Right, yeah, like 100%, and it's not like Virginia's got.
Somebody has squealed like a piggy in them woods at some point.
Uh, but I'm most of my family is from kind of like the hills, Appalachia area. Um, I think the most
Do you have more
Virginian.
teeth? Does your family have more teeth or family members?
I think the most Virginian thing about me is I had to drive through a forge to get to my uncle and aunt's house.
Drive through a forge?
Yes,
Like not around it. Like it was like underneath one of the conveyors or something.
a forge is driving through a river.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like an actual forge, like a factory that does forging and shit. Like you had like a ye old blacksmith down there.
No, you had to drive through a river to get to my uncle and aunt's house.
You had to fjord the forge?
Fjord a forge.
Jesus Christ.
My mom got so mad every time we did it. She's like, "You're gonna fuck up the Mercedes."
Driving a Mercedes through the backwoods of fucking Virginia. That's hilarious.
That's the fucking most ridiculous shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Uh, so you got any quick stories to tell anybody?
Quick stories. Are you looking for funny stories, sad stories?
Something you want to bring up?
Stories.
I'll let you sail for a few minutes here. Do what you want. Ask me questions. Talk about yourself.
Actually, this is our first episode, and
The debut.
the debut one. I've been working as your producer for what 2 or 3 months now.
About that. Around October.
2 or 3 months now. I know eventually we're gonna do your own intro episode, and we're gonna ask you a bunch about your background story. But what I think would be good is to talk about like why we work together so well, and let the people know like, hey, listen, like this is what we're doing, why we're doing it. And I'm gonna go ahead and start. I already told you guys a little bit backstory about you know believing in Jelly and doing what he's doing, but but Jelly has this like work ethic that is very similar to what I'm doing with my job, and I resonate with that almost immediately. With he's like, listen, I'm at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm still recording. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning still recording, and that really resonated with me because I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I get to work by 6, and I work until I'm done. It doesn't matter what time it is. So for those guys listening to this podcast, like this guy works his butt off to give you guys entertainment and do what he does. He's really good at what he does. So I love us for coming together and like correspond with each other about like why we work so well together and our similarities, like our music, like even our music, like CKY was like when you play CKY, I was like, oh, this is my brother, man.
Yeah, no, we definitely bonded over music real quick because of all the similar tastes. We both know instantly how to play Everlong on acoustic, like no problem. It's like, all right, there we go.
So maybe questions for you, and then I'll wrap around with the story at the end. Maybe question for you, like why did you trust me to be your producer?
Well, at first, I mean, I was just like, this is just some crazy dude. He was just like, whatever. Then you do a little, then I did a little research and was like, all right, well, it's legit what he says. And I was like, well, we'll talk to him a few more and be like, why not run it? What do we got to lose? You know, you seemed on the up and up. I did a little bit of digging on you.
You got to vet people.
Yeah.
You got to vet people, and I appreciate your trust in me, man. Like I produced, I don't know, a few hundred-ish episodes of podcasts from 2 different series, and I just loved your realness. Dude, I'm just gonna tell you how it is, man.
I mean, like I said, we just try to be an open and honest podcast and talk real shit about like real shit from real people. It's got to be real and organic. Can't have fake shit. We don't want to make up stories. We don't want to have any of that. We want to just have real experiences that real people went through. Talk about their life, and I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know about it and find out these interesting things.
I think the reason a lot of people are going, like even news based are going to real people, is because like people are tired of not getting the whole truth about things. Like it's just it's the same thing I'm going through with wellness, right? Is like I get people who's like, well, this person told me to do this, and I should be doing this diet, and I'm like, why? Like, what's why? Why? We want real people because we're striving for real people because that's what connects us. Like
We can relate more to real people than these fake people, these rich people, these celebrities that we don't have really much in common with. Even though people follow these people, they have nothing in common with them.
well, it's the same thing. Like why our biggest export as America is entertainment. A huge reason is because like storytelling is the most profitable industry there is. It doesn't matter if it's books or movies, TV. Like storytelling is very profitable because like that's how oral history was before like we have written history. It's in our DNA. Like
True.
why this is why I like the way you set the podcast up is getting to know people first, and then like then you get to the nitty gritty because like storytelling is so important to even learning. Like I learned way more from I'm gonna drop a movie Fury about realism for the World War II and like what happened during World War II than I ever learned in class because like they took the time to like this is war accurate tanks, this is war accurate, how the guys live, like they didn't have good oral hygiene, they were like living in their uniforms. Like I learned more from that than I ever did from a textbook, and I try to apply that to what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean,
Did that make sense at all? Like I feel like I was
no,
stupid.
a little bit there.
I think I lost it at the end.
I think on rewatch it, somebody might figure it out.
You
Sh-
do.
uh, Shout out in the comments if you understood what he said there. 'Cause that's the other thing, man. We want the people to participate in this, and that's what it's all about. Because it's by the people, for the people. Just without you guys, it won't be as much content. It's gonna make it easier for me if you help out. So please fucking help out.
And make sure you like and subscribe and share because without that, this podcast.
I'll get to that. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm gonna say it, dude.
No, no, you don't. You just sit there and produce. Relax. Calm
All
your
right,
tip.
I've got a story for you real quick though.
All right, do a story, and then I think we're gonna put a ribbon on it.
All right, that sounds good. So, I was 12 years old. Every one of us had, growing up in the 90s, had one of those things called an X Factor ramp, which is a piece of plastic that always lift up, and you always ate crap
The
on.
plastic kicker, the standard '90s plastic kicker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
the scooter wheel went right through it 90% of the time, and then you just fucking ended up, front endoed right in
Yeah,
the ground
you're going over your handlebars every time.
every time. Because
Well,
it skids unless you put a big, like half cord of wood behind it.
it has spots for screws, but like, what are you gonna skirt into?
Who has a fucking wood deck that they're willing to let their fucking kid destroy just so they can hurt themselves?
No one. It was ridiculous. But we were BMXing, like we were jumping off of like going down the driveway and jumping off and then like landing in the street. It was like maybe like a 6, 7 foot. It was pretty big. Like it was nothing small. A lot of us were pussing out on it. Like we would like jump on it, like throw the bike off and land. Like we're just
Like ghost jump it.
yeah, 100%. Like, like we're trying it out. Like whoever's gonna fucking like nail it. And my dad comes home from work early. It doesn't happen a lot. He saw what we were doing. He's like, "Can I try?" I was like, "Dad, like this is, I don't do it. Like I'm not
You're
gonna
gonna get
recommend."
hurt.
He's like, "I bought you the bike. Give me the bike." All right, do your thing. Um, so he did not get enough speed at all going down because like if there's a lip on it, if you're going fast enough, the lip doesn't really matter because it just pushes down, like it just goes
Yeah,
down. If you go too slow, that lip counts. So he is
pushes
going
it.
down. The lip slowed him down even more. So he popped up. The bike had pegs on it because we were BMXing. He went a little sideways. The peg caught the grass before it hit the sidewalk, stopping the bike completely.
Ooh, he
My dad
anchored
did
it.
not stop. My dad did not stop at all. Luckily, his face took all the impact,
Good.
all of it. It was
That's
okay.
the
Like
safe spot to land.
he's it kind of scorpioned his face going on the sidewalk. Good, 100%. He knocked like 2 teeth out. Had an abrasion on his head. His nose was split open. Like
Like,
he walked
again,
in.
the very fitting for Virginia.
This is very Virginia of like, hey, let's just send it. Let's just
I was
send it.
talking about the amount of teeth again, but
Damn it.
you have more people than teeth in Appalachia, I'm pretty sure, man.
Well, to finish the story though, mom took him to the hospital, and then my uncle scraped up his hair that was on the sidewalk and like the rest of his skin,
Attached it.
napkin, put it on a napkin, and like brought it inside and wrote Tony's body parts like the napkin, left it on the countertop when he came home.
Oh my god.
We're so sick.
Damn. No, that's hilarious that you said that about the ghost jumping, man. I got a good childhood story about the same thing,
Yeah.
almost. Very, not similar with an injury, but. So I grew up with two of my older cousins who would just bully me constantly. Because I was the youngest out of the three living in the house, and that's just the natural order of things. That's what happens. And I always had the shittiest of bikes because my mom would just find them in a dumpster and be like, "Here, got your new bike." And it worked. I liked it. It was a brand new bike. It was cool.
Yeah.
I remember I got off the bus one day and I looked up the driveway. We had a long ass driveway. And my cousin Dan was sitting there on my bike, just, which I had locked up so they didn't fuck with it. Which they obviously just figured a way to get it off. So he's sitting there and I see him and it's like that thing where a dog sees an animal and just like, no. You lock eyes, you get into that. I start sprinting. He starts biking towards me, takes a left. We had a rock wall that went into the woods, and they had that kicker set up. and he just ghost jumped it into the woods just to piss me off. It's like, dude, that is one of the funny. Like, it hurts to going back, but it's like, damn, that is hilarious. Because think about how funny it would be from his perspective of like, oh, he's just gonna see me. Oh, he saw me. Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
Pedaling his ass off.
And just launched it into the woods, fucking 25, 30 feet.
Ghosting.
And I'm probably just panicking as a kid running into the woods to try to get it.
My bike, my bike, my bike.
Don't tell my grandma.
You gonna fuck you up?
That's what happens, man. Get bullied. If you have any older siblings, you're gonna get bullied.
Oh yeah, this is good for you.
It's par for the course.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, well, shit, man. Say we put a ribbon on this, man. You have any last thing to share with the people? Anything to shout out? I mean, I did I said about Health or High Water and the Art Mart, but I did not know about the books. If you want to shout that out, the book, and what else you got going on?
I've got a book called Health Profiling that's available on Amazon, Kindle and Amazon. I've got a business called Ascend Performance Training that's here in Denver. We're also available worldwide for online training. And then, yeah, if you guys are a part of any senior communities that are looking for a interesting, fun fitness class that's going to be actually integral for the community of your community, then please let me know, especially in the Denver area. We love to facilitate for you. So that's kind of all I want to shout out. As well as I want to shout out this podcast, man. Like and subscribe. You're going to say it again, I know. But, dude, this Jelly's legit. Too legit to quit.
All right, well, I guess on that note, regrettable note, this has been the first episode of Jammed Up with Jelly. Tripp, it was great having you here, man. We had a good time here. If any of you viewers enjoyed your time, please give us a like, follow, subscribe. Please comment and tell us what you think, what you want to do, what you want to hear talked about. And don't forget, just hit us up on any of the socials. If you want to be on the pod, we'll just shoot the shit, talk about whatever you want, learn about you. And, yeah, that's been it for Jammed Up with Jelly. I'm Jelly, Gelatinous One, and we'll see you next time.
What are your socials? How can they follow you?
Oh, shit, that's right. Here we go. You can find me at The Gelatinous One on the TikTok and Gelatinous Comedy on Instagram and YouTube. Hit us up there. You can also find us at jellypod420 at gmail.com. And you can also find a phone number on there where there's a advice line where you can call in, tell us any problems you have about your life, relationship, work, anything you want us to talk about. We'll listen to it, the voicemail on the pod. Me and Tripp will give you some advice about it.
And don't forget to donate. Behind Jelly is a Venmo. This podcast is done, again, by the people, for the people. Without your guys' donation, we cannot grow this podcast. So please, even $1, 50 cents, anything you guys can afford, please donate.
All right, well, it was great to do this. We'll see you guys on the next episode here.